So, Mark Brown of Game Maker's Toolkit just announced that the demo for his game Mind Over Magnet is available on Steam. It might be the most anticipated YouTube devlog game ever, considering how big GMTK's audience is. Well, I played it and I've got some thoughts. Like many of you perhaps, I've been watching Game Maker's Toolkit for many years. Mark's videos dive deep into how games are designed as he dissects mechanics and provides insights on how to design good, meaningful, and enjoyable video games. His videos have honestly been a major influence for me. Before I ever thought to start making video games, I watched his channel simply because of how fascinating the topics are. As I've delved into creating my own games, I frequently refer back to his videos to inform my design process and to find inspiration for how I want my game to play and feel. What's interesting about his channel, though, is that Mark Brown is a journalist first, and maybe scholar is also an accurate title. His channel about designing video games grew into an incredible size well before he actually started making video games himself. So I think part of why Mind Over Magnet comes with so much anticipation is to see if the man himself can follow his own design advice. He's created so many impactful and insightful videos over the years, but is he actually able to apply his lessons himself? Long story short, the answer is yes. The demo I played of Mind Over Magnet is clearly made by someone who has deeply studied game design and has been very intentional about creating a very specific experience, which, I mean, it's Mark Brown we're talking about, so of course it's well designed. So I figured I could get a little meta here and analyze the design of Mark's game, much like the way he's analyzed so many other games throughout the years. Now, the first thing I want to call attention to is how seamlessly he teaches the player how to play the game. Each mechanic is introduced with a simple obstacle where the only way to proceed is to prove you've learned the mechanic. When you first learn about the magnetic fields, for example, the obstacle literally only requires you to pull a lever and watch what the field does. It's absurdly simple, making it clear for any player what the magnetic fields do. And it's not just unique mechanics like this being taught this way. Even jumping is taught simply, and Mark even has a section that informs the player that holding the button makes you jump higher. Now, I want to pause here because a lot of these things seem like they don't even need to be tutorialized at all. Don't we all understand that a side-scrolling platformer is going to have a jump button? Well, maybe the answer is actually no. Anyone who's spent more than 5 minutes playing video games will likely know that, but I think Mark is designing this game for a broader audience than that. It's built for literally anyone to understand. Even my grandma, who literally has never picked up a controller, could learn how to play Mind Over Magnet with this tutorial section. I think there's a certain elegance and wisdom in designing the game this way. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the puzzle design. GMTK has tons of videos on this topic, so it's no surprise that the puzzles are designed to hit that sweet spot between challenging and satisfying. Just as Mark has been preaching over the years, they all come with that aha moment, and the puzzles never require you to execute something that calls for precision or gaming skills. Once you know how to solve the puzzle, the execution of it is rather simple. Having played many puzzle games myself, I never found myself getting stumped by anything in this Mind Over Magnet demo, but I certainly had moments that caused me to pause and say, wait, how does this work? I couldn't just speedily plow my way through it, I had to actually use my brain. It cleverly challenged my assumptions while exploring the established mechanics in unique and different ways with each puzzle. It never felt repetitive, and it often elicited feelings that I'm clever too, just like the mind behind the game's design. I mean, even Magnus, the little magnet buddy, compliments you on occasion when you crack the code of a particularly distinct challenge. The artwork and the music are also on point. Mark opted for a higher resolution vector art style rather than the pixel look we often see in platformers. This feels like a very intentional decision. Pixel art, in contrast to vector art, is highly associated with video games and can give them an arcade-like feel. It's exciting and nostalgic for gamers, it's excellent for precision platforming, but it might not resonate with everyone. By going with this higher resolution vector art style, Mind Over Magnet feels less arcade-like and honestly more inviting for non-gamers and gamers alike. Musically, this demo is also stellar. The composer, who I think Mark has only hinted at so far, has created a soundtrack that is both exciting and kind of mysterious, which is perfectly fitting for this puzzle genre. It evokes feelings of curiosity and intrigue. It makes the player feel like they're smart as they untangle each level's set of riddles. It even has this echoey sound to it, masterfully aligning with the environment of drippy and echoey sewer systems. So whoever this composer is, they are an excellent pick. So all in all, this demo has me pretty excited for Mind Over Magnet. There are a few little things that I might suggest as improvements, such as consistent iconography for each device in the game. For example, the magnetic field here is indicated by a diamond, but here it's a heart. Maybe you could have just a specific icon that is always used for each device. And the demo did feel a bit short for me. I wrapped it up in about 10 minutes, but those little nitpicky things are just not that big of a deal when looking at the game as a whole. The mechanics are taught smoothly, the puzzles are super fun and rewarding, making me stop to think, but never making me feel frustrated or overly confused. And the artwork and music are polished and perfect for inviting a broad demographic of players. It's just a solid game, and I'm excited to play the full thing when it's released. If you liked this video and are curious to know more about the things I'm working on, feel free to subscribe to our channel here and check out some of our other videos on developing our pixel platformer called TetherGeist. The game is also on Steam, where you can playtest it and wishlist it if you so desire. All of the links you'll need are in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time.